Hey friends, Bill here. Today's vlog is all about content. It's said that content is king, and I tend to agree, although marketing is queen and she runs the household. So at any rate, we're going to get into some content today, and here we go. So it was recently asked to me on a client call, essentially, how do I create content? How do I know what to create when? Why isn't my website showing up in search? Why aren't visitors coming to my website, staying for any length of time worthwhile? Why aren't they reaching out for consultations? Why aren't my forms getting filled? Why aren't my white papers being downloaded? And it occurred to me that this might be something that would be a great vlog. So here we go. Basically, when it comes to content, my theory is it's not about you, it's always about them. And who are they? They are your customers, your clients, your patients, the audience, the visitors to your website. Why are they there? They are there typically looking for an answer to a question, whether the question was asked to Google, whether it was asked or looked for on your website, whether it was asked in a client engagement. Ultimately, they're going to your website to find information. If your website is built correctly and efficiently, they're finding you through Google, they're finding you through social media, they're finding you through all the places in which you curate content. So if they're asking a question to a search engine and they're looking for an answer and it's really about them, not you, then what do we go from here? So when it comes to content, there's a few people that I really, really respect. The first one is Marcus Sheridan. He wrote a book called They Ask You Answer. Get it? It's amazing. Joe Pulizzi, he wrote Content Inc. Again, great. Get it? It's amazing. So between Joe and Marcus, they really believe that one should not be this is my quote, one should not be puking their what on their website. They need to be amplifying their why. And the reason you do that is because no one is on your website looking to buy the products or services you sell. They're really interested in learning about the products or services you sell and discovering why in which you serve them or deliver them or sell them. That's why people are on your website, okay? They're there to learn. So what kind of content should we create? Well, why don't you start with the 3 most commonly asked questions in any client engagement? Start taking those questions and simply answering them. The headline of the article, the headline of the blog, the headline of the post, the headline of the video, all it has to be is the question. And then proceed to answer the question in the article, making sure to focus on not how you would like to be spoken to as the expert, but how someone who is learning about your subject matter would like to learn. Keep it simple, keep it relatable, and when possible, use examples from your current profession, the current clients that you serve, the current patients that you serve, to actually exemplify what it is you're trying to explain. Constantly using anecdotes, constantly using parables, if you will, to describe in detail why the product or service that you sell or deliver actually is of benefit to someone similar to the person reading the article, watching the video, or listening to the post. So think about it. What are the questions we can answer? Well, if you're not sure, do you even have an FAQ portion of your website? Are you consistently being asked the same 3, 5, 10 questions in client calls? If the answer to that is still not sure, or maybe you're a startup, well, here's a great little hack. Go to your leading competitors online. Check out their FAQ page. Chances are within an industry, customers typically are asking the same questions. They're looking for the same information. Now, when you're creating your content, you want to be 100% others focused. It's about the customer. It's about being credible and relatable to the customer, the buyer, the patient, the client, whatever term is fitting for your industry. But ultimately, start with a question. Answer the question. It is my belief that people will be the most satisfied with their search result when they get to a website or a web page and what they're reading, listening to, or viewing answers the question that they haven't had an opportunity to ask a professional as of yet. So the idea is, if you're of service to that question, you're answering that question for that person, what happens is reciprocity occurs. And what is reciprocity? Reciprocity is that balance of value and value given and cost or price paid. And when a client feels like you're offering more than they're giving you, the reciprocity has tilted in your favor, which means the opportunity that they have to actually download an item, schedule a consultation, ask for a conversation, make a phone call, come into your office, get directions, buy something, download something, give the emotional transaction of a click, a phone number, or an email address, or ultimately the win that we're all looking for, which is a credit card number or a buy now. So what we want is reciprocity. You want to give more than you're actually receiving. When the value of what you're providing exceeds the price you're asking, we win. And you always want to be giving more than you're asking for. And you never want to ask for anything until you've given value. So the value that you're giving on your website is information, but not information that you think is relevant, but information that you know is relevant to your audience, your customer, your client, or patient. Because we need to be others focused, because no one cares about what we know until they know that we care about them. How do we show them we care? We ask the questions that they are dying to get answers to without them having to communicate with us directly. So figure out what your content calendar is going to be. How often am I going to curate content? What is my content schedule going to look like? We can help you with that. But ultimately, every piece of content has to answer a question. This piece of content right here came from a question that I had with a client who basically said, Bill, I don't know why my website isn't getting traffic. I don't understand why my website's not getting linked to. Nobody stays on my website for more than a second. My bounce rate is crazy embarrassing. And I said, well, what are you writing on your website? Oh, well, I'm talking about the programs we offer. I'm talking about the accreditation of our coaches. I'm talking about the events that we speak at. And I said, okay, well, that's great. And I would be proud of that too. But what question is that answering in the minds or hearts of your client? And with that, there was the aha moment. And so the content that came from that going forward is infinitely more valuable. And it's no longer about them, the business owner. It's all about them, the client, customer, or patient. I promise you, if you focus on your audience and you start with the questions, the burning questions, the desires they have, and there's a ton of tools that we can help you with, whether it be the Google AdWord keyword or the Google Keyword Planner. I'm probably saying that wrong. I think it's called Google AdWords Keyword Planner. Said it right that time. But or there's other SpyFu and SEMrush, and there's a bunch of other keyword tools that you can use to really identify what people are searching for. But if you want to just do the hack, as I mentioned, go to a competitor's website, look at their FAQs, and start from there. Ultimately, folks, content is all about your audience. Okay, we don't want to puke our what, we want to amplify our why. No one cares what we know until they know that we care. So we want to follow Marcus Sheridan and Joe Pulizzi. Check them out online. They're awesome thought leaders in this space. And once again, this is Bill Courtwright signing off.